Now, there are a lot of people that run through the doors of the Bachelor and the Bachelorette house, but if Chris Harrison cannot even remember who you are, you might have to work on making an impression. That was the case for the new guy on the Bachelor in Paradise last night. Leslie from 106.3 The Groove is here to tell us how the twins actually helped him be a little more memorable, and we're going to get to him in a second.
Yes, because he was not the only new guy that came on the show last night.
But the other new guy, I remember him.
Yes, he's Christian from JoJo's season last season. I really liked him. And he came on and he got a date card. They usually get, and he decided to ask out Sarah, which did not sit well with Daniel. I always consider him the Canadian A.
That's what we always remember him as.
Yes, and Daniel doesn't seem like the brightest guy, but I think he has a very quirky sense of humor. It seems like Sarah understands that. And so Daniel was not very happy that Christian and her went off to have a great date. They went ziplining and they rock climbed a little bit and stuff, and they made out and stuff, and they seemed to be a really nice, cute connection there.
Yeah, I think Sarah was really digging her.
Yes.
And I at first thought, oh, poor Daniel, you're out the door. But when she got back, they kind of rekindled again.
I know, so it'll be interesting. I'm not sure exactly where she's going to go with this. And in the meantime, you go back to Carly, who has gone out with Evan a few times, and man, talk about clueless without getting. And he thinks everything is great and their kisses, he's seen fireworks. She is like, it is disgusting. I mean, I love that Jared later said to her, you went on a date and you threw up. Loved that line.
Not probably the best thing after a date,
Right, so I love Carly. I think she's very upfront and says it like it is. So she finally goes over to Evan and tells him, look, I'm not interested in you. And he seems to be heartbroken. I mean, come on.
I feel like they just met.
No.
How are you so heartbroken?
I know. And I'm like, so then now Carly, of course, wants to find a guy. And so then all of a sudden you see this guy walk up to Chris Harrison. And Chris is like, how do I know you? And I honestly, when I saw the guy, I thought, oh, is this just a fan that happens to be coming on?
That's what I thought.
Yes, and he goes, I was from Desiree's season. And he goes, yeah, I'm getting nothing. I mean, it was hilarious. Poor guy, you know?
Well, I love when Brandon walks down and everyone thought he was a crew member. I thought he was like on production.
No one remembers who this guy is. No. And so he has a date card again. So he goes out, he decides to ask out Haley, even though Carly thought he was pretty cute.
Yeah, she thought she was gonna latch onto a new guy.
So Haley was like, decides to go out with him. Well, she and her sister decide that Emily think it's a funny idea to maybe switch and see if he could tell the difference.
The twins, right.
Because he says, well, I can tell you apart. He's basically saying, and I'm more interested in you.
Yeah,
so
it's not a looks thing.
Exactly. So she excuses herself, goes to the restroom. Her sister comes out in place of her. And she even talked differently. Now, I'm wondering if we wouldn't have known, if I would have known the difference. But the way she was talking right away, and he even commented on it. Nothing.
Yeah, she said something A or something, and he was like, that was weird.
Very weird. He never caught it, and it was uncomfortable towards the end when he kind of wanted to kiss her, and Emily was like, I like to take things really slow. Like, not a kiss, on the cheek. You know, I thought there was, I'm hoping they're going to tell him at some point. I don't think he's going to be on for very long. I remembered him a little bit as he started talking, and I said, yeah, you really don't have a great personality.
He doesn't have that memorable thing about him.
No.
Yeah, I think that's going to be short.
Yeah, and so in the meantime, then you have Nick, who was into Amanda, and he's obviously realizing, as he said, because Josh is having a steady diet. This is his quote: "Steady diet of Amanda's tongue."
Best quote ever.
I know, it was awesome. He's like, all right, I guess I have to say I'm pretty impressed with him. He really seems to be growing up. Yeah. And literally all you saw when you saw Josh and Amanda was those two making out the entire time. I was like, can you have a breath?
As I was trying to explain to the producers of the show today, like who's who on the show, so we can kind of get, I was like, Josh and Amanda, those would be the one. They didn't say a word the whole episode last night. They just made out. Yeah. So that's their thing, I guess.
But Evan gets his mojo back and thinks, I'm going to go after Amanda. Talk about awkward.
Weird? It was just weird.
Awkward because he literally goes up to them. They're off on down the beach with no one else around, making out on a bed, and he comes and interrupts them.
And that's kind of where the to be continued.
Right, of course.
I'm not sure about this whole Evan thing.
I don't know either.
He was a little too emotional about Carly. I think this is a weird decision.
I think it's very funny because he helps out men.
Yeah.
And what he does for career, and Carly said it great. He's great at helping out guys, but he doesn't seem to understand women very well.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to help himself, basically.
No,
yeah.
No, and so that'll be very interesting. In the meantime, like you said, Sarah went to talk to Daniel, and I think he's more of the bad boy, and he actually showed a kind of serious side to him, and she gets it. So I'm torn on which. I don't know. She would be smart to go with Christian, because he seems like the super nice guy.
Well, you never know.
No.
That's why we love this show.
I know. And there's rumors around, people are wondering if Josh is the one that actually hits Evan after he goes, you wonder, that hasn't been shown yet recently, but something happens with Evan.
Where he's in the ambulance.
Yes.
So we'll see. Leslie, and I know you keep us up to date on the blog also. There's so much to talk about, even the After the Rose. We have so much. Are you covering that in your blog?
I will, yes, because Chad was on it last night.
Yep, we'll have to definitely check that out. You guys catch new episodes of Bachelor in Paradise on Mondays and Tuesdays here on KGUN-9. Then tune in Tuesday and Wednesday here on The Morning Blend for a recap of all the antics. You can also read that Bachelor in Paradise blog we were just talking about at 1063thegroove.com.